No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Biddly bo. Yes, yo. Here we go. There ain't nobody down round here, yo. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. Unfortunately, there will be no controlled, deliberate fall needed off the back of the chair. We've been asking for likes, guys. We've been asking for likes, subscriptions, and all that stuff. I've got a quick shout out to do to two shout outs for some super chats yesterday on the videos. Mark LUFC and Lee Gladwin 5565. Shout out to Mark LUFC and Lee Gladwin 5565. There's no need. We've stopped breaking records, boys. It's a tragedy. You know, when the feeling's gone and you can't control, it's a tragedy. The record is 732 likes on a single video. So the record-breaking days are over. We only garnered 534, which is still an absolutely mental number. The reason why it's a tragedy is, you know, 2 weeks ago, 534 would have been a record-breaking event. You know, I'd have been writing it on back wall, but ultimately, with the way the likes have been flying in, we just don't know what we're doing. The clout is through the roof. The clout chase is through the roof, and that's why the clock watchers are all in on me. So unfortunately, we didn't get high enough to achieve our forfeit, which was a fall off the back of the chair, which, to be brutally honest, I'm quite happy about, because if I'd have had to have done that, I don't really know how I'd have gone about it, and I think it'd have been a little bit pathetic. And as pathetic as the channel very well is, and ridiculous as the channel may very well be, I think that is possibly a step too far. We do try to be real as physically possible on here, so if I'd have probably overcommitted to falling off the chair and really hurt myself. But you boys give it a right good go. We did get to 534, which is sensational. So thank you. Please keep liking the video. It's much appreciated. Quick shit vid. I also need to address something, and it's a genuine question. Why are some strawberries shit? Like, sometimes they're either the best fruit ever, or sometimes are they out of season or something? Am I doing it wrong? Am I eating them wrong? I don't know. Some of them are like, you know, it's just a bad batch maybe, but it's just often I buy strawberries and I just think these are expensive for what they are, and I'm not really getting the feels and the needs that I want out of them. Quick shit vid. Please do let me know about the strawberries. 2 minutes 30 and the clock watch is going to go ballistic. I feel like I've completed the internet. I've now just watched a bike ride with the football team, with Ramazani going around being daft on the bike, skidding and talking to some of the players while on the bike, just racing about a bit. It was, I think, 12 minutes long, probably about as long as this video will be. Depends what you deem entertainment. I know some people would say that these videos aren't entertaining, as I get the pelters come flying in, and may they keep coming. That's absolutely fine by me. But watching a bike ride, not even from, well, just a point of view bike ride, not even from people that, you know, I would argue are good at riding bikes. I'm sure they're very physically fit and they can get around on a bike, but, you know, we're not. It's not the Tour de France, is it? Not that I watched the Tour de France either, but I've basically just watched a bike ride with a load of players that I watch play football. It just seemed like a weird experience, but that is what it is. Double A Ronston is back in training and he featured in today's game. We have just played Peddorborn 07. It was 3-2. Stack was in there. He started the game. They are a second-tier side. So the team we played the other day, I think we won 4-1. They were a third-tier side. These were a second-tier side. It was Stack, Ampadu, and Tanaka in the middle three. And every time I see that middle three, I literally let out a little bit of sex wee. Darlow made a decent save early doors. They did create a couple of chances, to be fair, but then we won the ball back. Stack set up Perri with a lovely finish at 18 yards out at bottom corner, so we went 1-0 up. It really is a beast in front of a beach. It really is a beast in beach in front of goal. These Perizli. Then Nonto with a really well taken goal from edge at box from a loose pass, and then he beats a man and he's further out. He's probably 20 odd yards out again, bottom corner. Lovely finish. Nemecha with a tap in again. But you've got to be there before the ball's squared, innit? Which, ironically, it wasn't in this scenario. But he does really well initially. Running down line, he beats the defender. Really nice touch. Plucks it out of air on chest. Beats his man. Gets to byline. Then there's a free kick. Harrison whips the free kick in, which Struik gets up and wins. and then it's a bit of a kerfuffle, and then Nemecha taps it home. But Harrison getting plenty of minutes has to be said. You know, Farke wasn't joking when he said it's up to Jack at this moment, you know, to see what he wants to do. And if he wants to play for Leeds United next year, if he puts in some performances, he will have that opportunity. Unless we're going to bring Pacquiao, Paxman, Paxo Sauce, Paxo stuffing in, then I can see Harrison staying now. We'll talk about Pacman in a minute, but we did concede 2 goals, which I do want to briefly discuss. Now, they were both late on in the game, and you could argue it's sort of sewn up and it's a friendly, and many changes have been made at that point. But we did look a little bit sloppy. I've only seen the 12-minute highlights. I've not watched the full game, but we do look a little bit sloppy at the back. Got caught napping a couple of times. Pascal, even in the highlights, was just a bit loose on the ball, which I think he can be anyway, suspect to it. But he turned into one of the players at one point. They actually had a few chances come the end of the game. It could have been a little bit different. Meslier, Silent S, who hopefully once Perri Sauce comes in, it'd be no point even talking about Meslier, Silent S. I don't think he's the number one even now before Perri gets there, but he gets pulled well out of his goal. He's well past his front post, which initially looks like the right thing to do. But as the ball gets squared, it's a bit bonkers what he's doing, really. And then it's pretty much, you know, it's not an open net, because I think it's Biol and Gruev that are sort of sitting back trying to block the ball. But Mezzi's like making a save. He's at full stretch and he's not even covered half the goal. So it is slightly concerning. It's difficult to see what formation we play sometimes from the highlights, because obviously when AA Ronson came on, it changes the dynamic, for example. But, you know, I will try to work out who was in middle, because obviously Longstaff comes on, Aronson's there. So there's plenty of players there. I don't know whether Aronson would be part of the 3 and we could still go ahead with that, or whether he'd sort of playing behind Peru, Parisli or Nemecha more as a 10. But it looked at times like Tanaka, again, just from the highlights, Tanaka was sort of playing that slightly advanced role when it were Ampadu, Stack and Tanaka, but also the wingers that at the time, Harrison and Nonto, Ramazani, they're able to come in quite narrow. Dan James, who is sort of more, he leans more towards going wide, I understand that, but they do have that channel in between the right back and the centre back that they can try and penetrate, and then it allows our wing backs to get forward. So it's still positive stuff. You know, it is only friendlies and they are only testing stuff out, but it's just good to get, you know, solid wins or feel solid at back, really. So some reports that Manny Pacquiao, the undisputed champion from many moons ago, Paxo stuffing, has followed Leeds United online, you know, either on Twitter or Instagram. Now, I haven't been the investigative journalist that you all absolutely crave, because I haven't been on Instagram and checked myself, but I have seen a video of it. Now, people can doctor these things, I'm aware, but I haven't checked myself because, to be brutally honest, I think it's a bit losery. I think if I was going on a player's Instagram who currently doesn't play for Leeds United, I feel like I'd be losing a little bit of myself, which you're not willing to do. Nobody do it how we does it. You know this by now. If you don't know by now, you never knew. Apparently, Feyenoord are more keen on Paxo stuffing coming to Leeds United, and his preference is Ellen Road, having spoke to Farke. Now, this idea that Farke's got no pull has to be dispelled at this point, doesn't it? Because now we're getting like Longstaff talking about Farke being a big part of it. Stack had good words to say about him. Now Pacman's saying good things about him. It's interesting to see if any more gets announced or spoke about in the meantime, whether or not where we are in the line. It's sort of gone a little bit quiet. Obviously, we just had the friendly. The man mounting, the reason why I don't think anything will get said is until the man mounting the spicy peri sauce comes in. And I reckon that could be announced quite literally as I'm doing this video. It's about to turn 6 o'clock as I'm doing this. And 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, stop. Because I don't think any signings coming after 11 o'clock, or certainly not announced. But he's apparently passed his medical and it's all ready to go. They were just waiting for the friendly to be done. Now, we know from knowledge of others, and I can't remember where this was from. I can't remember what I was watching, but it's basically about medicals, and you can't actually fail a medical. So this idea that he's passed his medical and it's all gone through is not actually true. What the medical staff, what they do, the poo-poo, they check everything. So it's obviously the checking stuff, but it's not a pass or fail. It's you know, you're spending a certain amount of money on him and his knee's not going to hold up for 6 months, and then they make a decision on it. The club make a decision. So they go, well, for 5 million, we'll get 6 months out of him, and that is the money that we'll spend. That's what he's worth. Whereas if you're spending 30 million on somebody and his knee's gone, or will go within 8 months. It's like sort of like checking over a car in it and thinking, well, this car is no longer worth what it was. But you know, with peri peri sauce, you know, spicy in it, so I don't think, you know, he'll have been hopping through his medical water with that spicy sauce that he's got going on. Fulham are apparently looking into signing Dewsbury Hall. Now, the title will say Dewsbury Hall involved, just because I think it's funny for a couple of reasons. Now, people do say I look like him. I got some comments a couple of years ago saying Dewsbury Hall, Dewsbury Hall, Dewsbury Hall, just kept putting it in the chat. And I did not understand it at all, to be honest. And then it dawned on me that I sort of look a little bit like him. So I've had Liam Cooper before. I've never had Dewsbury Hall. What do you reckon? It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's certainly not the best thing in the world. I think he looks a little bit like a weasel. Now, obviously, as soon as... hey, my chain's just fallen off. What the fuck? These videos, man. Bloody bonkers, aren't they? Bloody bonkers. Obviously, the press have got straight into this, like Dewsbury Hall. You know, they're already spending the Muniz money that we're getting, you know, because we're buying Muniz off. It's like, it's not even a like for like. You know, they're two completely different. I mean, Muniz is a striker and Dewsbury Hall's a winger, but obviously Dewsbury Hall's out of favour at Chelsea, or never was in favour. I don't really know why they bothered signing him. And obviously came from that bald guy from Leicester. I know he obviously took him with him to some extent, but I think it was just to get a bit of money. It wouldn't surprise me if he were involved in contract and he were getting 20% a week or something of Dewsbury's Hall contracts. It seemed a bit mental to me even at the time. A few people have got the reservations about Muniz and whether or not he's good enough. He only got 8 goals last year in a decent Fulham side. But to be perfectly honest, with the way Perri is continuing to finish goals left, right, and centre, do we need anybody else to put the ball in? Now, I clearly joke, I clearly kid. We're all going to have to chip in, and, you know, your Nemechas are going to have to come off at bench and chip in. Perri currently is the number 9 at the club. Obviously, Joseph, Bamford, both looking like they're on the way out. We need another option in there. Muniz, I will take it. Big, strong fella. Brazil on that Brazilian contingency. If we get Paxo stuffing in, get peri peri sauce in, get Muniz in. We've got the Brazilians, we've got the Welsh, we've got it all, mate. We've got it all. Keep liking, keep subscribing. Have a great Saturday night. If you're off out on slush, go over the top and really go for it and really write off your Sunday. There's no point going out if you're not going to take tonight into tomorrow. You want to give last night to this morning. You want to give this morning to last night. Let's have it. Like, subscribe. Appreciate every which one here. Shout out to Mark LUFC and Lee Gladwin. My guys. Shout out to Southie, Sean Rooney, Ming, Andy C, Legendary MVG, and Mick the Crocodile Dundee. That rhymes. Bing, bang, boom, bosh.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.